A fortune teller looks Jacob in the eye and tells him,
"You're already dead."
Am I dead?
A little later, other people act as if he's still alive.
Oh no.
You just hurt your back, that's all. It'll be fine. It'll just take some time.
So which is it? Is Jacob dead? Is he alive? Is he losing his mind? Or have we been asking the wrong question this entire time? Because every time I revisit Jacob's Ladder, I become more convinced that the film isn't interested in answering that question at all. Instead, it keeps pushing us towards stranger ones. What are those creatures? Those distorted faces? Those half-human figures? Those nightmare-like people who keep appearing in the subway, at the party, and in the hospital? And why does the world become more hellish the closer Jacob gets to the truth? Jacob's Ladder is constantly talking about the Vietnam War, but not just as a war, as something that changes people forever. Many soldiers came home from war physically alive.
What happened? What happened that night?
But some of them never truly came back.
Did he say what they looked like?
They couldn't reconnect with ordinary life. They couldn't relate to people the same way anymore. They couldn't trust the world the way they once did. It was as if they had seen something nobody else could understand.
Demons, what the fuck you talking about, demons?
And when you've seen something the rest of the world can't comprehend, you start feeling separated from everyone around you. You're still here, but you don't really belong here anymore. Which raises a disturbing question. Is Jacob actually the only one seeing monsters? Or is the film simply giving a face to the horrors that thousands of veterans carried home with them? There's something strange about almost every character in this movie. They all seem to know something Jacob doesn't. The fortune teller, his fellow soldiers, Gabe, even random people who appear for only a few moments. It's as if everyone is trying to tell him something, but Jacob refuses to hear it.
Stop it! You're killing me!
Every time he gets closer to an answer, reality begins to collapse. Every time he approaches the truth, the nightmare grows worse. Which leads to another question. Is Jacob running from something? Or is something chasing him? The more I watch this film, the less I see Jezzy as just a girlfriend. Even her name feels deliberate. Jezzy comes from Jezebel, and in Judeo-Christian tradition, Jezebel has long been associated with temptation, corruption, and attachment to worldly desires. What's interesting is how often the film connects Jezzy with forgetting. Remember the scene where she burns Jacob's photographs? One by one, his memories disappear. His past goes up in flames. At first, it feels like an odd character moment. But then I remembered Lewis, the chiropractor, the man who delivers what may be the most important idea in the entire film. Quoting Meister Eckhart,
He said the only thing that burns in hell is the part of you that won't let go of your life. Your memories, your attachments.
and suddenly that scene feels completely different. Jezzy is burning photographs. Eckhart talks about burning attachments. That connection feels impossible to ignore. But there's something even stranger. Almost everything is burned, except Gabe. Gabe feels different from everyone else in this story. In a movie filled with chaos, Gabe is calm. In a movie where reality constantly shifts, Gabe remains unchanged. And every time he appears, it feels as if we're moving one step closer to the truth. So another question begins to emerge. Why does the film refuse to let Gabe disappear? Why is his image preserved? Why can't Jacob let go of him? And why does everything eventually lead back to Gabe? Lewis says something else that's worth paying attention to.
If you're frightened of dying, you'll see devils tearing your life away. If you've made your peace, then the devils are really angels, freeing you from the earth.
A lot of interpretations take this literally. They conclude that all the monsters are actually angels. I'm not entirely convinced. Some of those creatures are genuinely horrifying. Some seem more like torturers than guardians. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe Lewis isn't describing the creatures. Maybe he's describing Jacob. Maybe he's describing a mind that can no longer see the world the way it once did. A man who has looked into hell and now sees everything through that experience. And now we arrive at one of the most overlooked details in the entire film. A book. The movie only shows it briefly, but the images inside are disturbing. Mutilated bodies, religious illustrations, references to the afterlife, and one word that stands out above everything else. Purgatory. The first time I noticed it, I assumed it was just part of the film's unsettling atmosphere. But the more I thought about it, the more it felt like a deliberate clue. A clue hiding in plain sight. When people hear the word purgatory, they immediately think of death. But what if that's not what the film means? What if purgatory isn't a place at all? What if it's a condition? The condition of being unable to return to who you once were. The condition of surviving hell without ever truly leaving it behind. The condition of being trapped between the past and the present. Between remembering and forgetting. Between holding on and letting go. Suddenly, everything starts connecting. Jesse, Lewis, Gabe, the fortune teller, the soldiers, even the monsters. Which is why I don't think Jacob's ladder is ultimately asking whether Jacob is dead or alive. That's only the surface mystery. The deeper question is this. What happens after you've seen hell? What happens after you've experienced something that separates you from everyone around you? Can you ever go back to who you were before? Can you return to ordinary life? Or does a part of you remain trapped there forever? Maybe that's why the ending feels both tragic and peaceful at the same time. Because in the end, it doesn't really matter whether Jacob is dead or alive. What matters is that he finally stops fighting. And maybe that's the only way out of purgatory. Not by forgetting, not by running away, but by accepting the thing that changed you forever.